All right, back up and running. Sorry about that, guys. And let's take it back from where we just dropped off. Anyone who's just joining into the chat now, welcome back. It's great to have you back. Hope you're having a good Monday. I'm going to go through how to make a beat in this live music production tutorial session number 1, and how to make a beat in Logic Pro X with the step sequencer. And I'll give you a bit of a vibe right now, and just as people join in, and let's give it a go. Okay, let me just mute this. Let me bring up my session for you guys. All right. Okay, so you get a good feeling for it, I think. And this is a bedroom pop song, bedroom pop genre song. And let's recreate this beat using the step sequencer. There's a bit of a fill here. So I'm still in the production phase. Just for context here, I've been throwing different ideas at this song today, so we won't touch on so much of the mix in this session, but we'll talk about more just how to create a beat and what kind of elements are the staple elements that you should use. Okay, so let's, by the way, please ask questions in the knowledge chat here, and we'll use this as like a hybrid of me teaching you and showing you how to make this beat and recreate it using the step sequencer and Logic, but also like if you notice something in my session, or if you have feedback, or if you have a question, please put it in the chat and I will answer all the questions, and we'll use it as like a conversation, so we can have these live sessions be more of like a conversation. So like I'm doing this live, I'm ready to answer questions, and I prefer almost to go about it in a way that you ask questions. If you're making songs or you're releasing music, ask any questions you'd like to me, and I'd be happy to answer them, because like the difference between live videos and just all the other videos on my YouTube channel is like you have the benefit now of like having me live, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. If not, you can always just watch my recorded videos after, and I can't answer any questions while you're watching the recorded version of me. So I'll just start, and if you have any questions, just pop them in. So this is I'm using the drum machine designer in Logic, and I'm going to just duplicate the actual grouping here. You can see I have a folder stack here with a bus output, and these are all the different sounds. I have a kick snare, a live snare, crash tambourine, big claps, fill, key pluck, and a shake. So we'll go through those. I'm just going to duplicate that, bring that down. Oh no, sorry, mute that, and bring, not that. All right, let's bring this down. And let's do this again. So what do we have here? So we want that beat to come in there. All right, so let's just cycle at the top here. So we have some kind of a reference point. And then the step sequencer is located if you open your editor by pressing E. and we have our step sequencer. So it's like near the piano roll editor, the score, and the step sequencer. If you open up the step sequencer on the track, you're only going to see the one-off elements. You have to open up the step sequencer on the actual drums bus output here, where it says drums. And then we can just, wherever we click, it's going to create a region, a yellow region for us. So just created that nice little region. Oops, I don't want that. And what I'm going to do is do kick and snare here. And then I'm going to change this to 64 steps. And that's going to automatically, actually, you know what's better if I just do kick, snare, like in a 12-step pattern here, and then change it to 64 steps. And that's going to give me a, oh gosh, that was ugly. Let me just do that over again. All right. Kick, snare, then 64 steps. Now I have kick, snare pattern in a 64 steps, which means like it's just a bigger region to create a more diverse pattern. And I have these two windows here. Okay, so let's see. Kick, snare. What I'm going to do here is just silence, solo the. So basically, it's just I'm just going to do kick, snare is what I've done with the double kick before the third snare. I'm going to add that double kick in the second window too. And guys, if you're watching, can you comment in the chat window now, just how is the reception? Because I'm just curious. So please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If thumbs down if it's bad, thumbs up if it's good, because I need that feedback, because I'm not there on the other end, and it's been a bit wonky today. So Extreme looks good. All right, that's a good. Thank you for that feedback, Ava. All right. Just want to get that feedback. Now, okay, let's get back to this. Kick, snare. So simple pattern. And now, like typically, if you want fatter snares, one way to do it is like add certain effects that make it fatter, but you can also, it's nice to layer different snares. So I layered like this live snare sound. And I'm going to add that on every snare hit too. And then I'm going to hit crash at the beginning of our chorus here, our beat. And then I'm going to do 8th note hi-hats. So change this to 8th notes and just drag them all in here. Missed that one. Tambourine. Yeah, let's add 8th note tambourines as well, probably with a different pattern. And I'll change the pattern when we change this to Midi. Add some claps. Let's just see what this sounds like. All right, I have to do it on this part here. Okay. A shake is like, you can think of it like someone's shaking coins in their pocket almost. It's a nice texture. I add this in some of my tracks. It's just that really high end, just to have it pop out a bit. Okay, so yeah, that's a beat, right? Like pretty fast, pretty simple, but it sounds pretty good already. It's one reason it sounds good is I've done like this premix here where I've leveled these things just volume wise, and then I've added certain EQs on the tracks, like the kick. I've done a bit of an EQ take it out some low end, a bit of low shelf, and some cut in those high mids, and some compression, some reverb. I did compression and EQ to most elements. Not so much tambourine on not so much compression on the tambourine. No tambourine on the tambourine. Feels crunchy. Yeah, it's probably because it's just not fully mixed. So the crunchiness would just come from, just in the production stage right now. So don't worry about the crunch. It's more like the actual patterns and the elements of things. Okay, let's just see with everything right now, just to get like a vibe. Maybe we want a different kick pattern, or maybe there's this weird like snare hit that's coming in. So I hit that note wrong. That was weird. Okay, now once we throw all the ideas at the step sequencer, and you can see here in the drum machine designer, this is where the samples kind of live, and you can drag your own samples in from the file browser on the right side, or you can also drag in like Logic sound library samples, which are also really good on the left. So you can kind of think like left Logic and right your own samples here on this side. So like if you downloaded a sample pack from the internet, or whatever. All right, my Logic sometimes gives me headaches. There we go. And I'm going to change just turn the master down a bit so it's not super loud in your ears. So we can try a different kick pattern coming into different parts of the song. I think I did something different here. Kick. So that's a cool pattern and a nice change up if it's something to keep the listeners engaged. So let's just add that quick pattern, and then we'll change everything to MIDI. How'd you get that clean guitar sound? That's just playing the electric guitar and running it through Guitar Rig, which is a virtual instrument, or not an instrument, but an amp, and by Native Instruments, and using different effects on Native Instruments, and then using also a phaser. So that's kind of why it sounds like this. That's why it kind of sounds dreamy in a way, because that's what a phaser does. It also makes it, a phaser will make the sound wider and not like just right in the middle. So yeah, that's how I got that clean guitar sound, Javier. Or no, not Javier. Dreams. Are you making beats or songs? And Ava, are you also a musician? And Javier, what's your deal? How did you guys find this channel? And how long have you been subscribed? I'm curious to know where you guys are coming from. I like that pattern, and I'll add just the same pattern to the second window here because we have a 64 step. So one thing I don't think you can do is copy this row and paste it here. Yeah, that doesn't work, I guess, because it's the same thing. I never really understood that in Logic. So you have to just look at what you did and then click over to the second window here. So I did kick, snare, I think, or kick, snare, yeah, kick, snare. That's so many green squares. Cool. Yeah, I like that. So we can also let's just do the same things here. Crash. Hats on. We can also try what 16th hats sound like. Let's do that. Might be, whoa, too many crashes for sure. Shake. Let's see what the 16th sound like. Oh man, second window. I just think it's too much. So eighth notes, I just switched it down to eighths. Do an 8/16. And so I'm going to show you now how we can make this sound more human. One way to do it is not do it with a step sequencer because, oh my gosh, that's eighth notes. So if you, one way to actually make it sound more human would be to play it on even like, well, obviously it would be to play it on a drum set, but even if you play it on your MIDI keyboard and the MIDI keyboard is taking into account velocity or like a pad or something, that's another way to get human velocity while it's playing, because every note we click in here has the exact same velocity, which now we should go and change a little bit just so it doesn't sound too plasticky. So we have two little sections here, and we'll right click, actually we'll highlight both, right click, convert to MIDI region, and then right click, separate by note pitch. And that's going to create, every respective MIDI region. Oh, cool, Dreams. You're making rock and pop songs. That's cool. Rock and pop, like, are you the producer or are you the artist? And either or, what type of videos do you find most helpful? That feedback would be really valuable for me. Okay. So let's open up these, and you can see everything is, I just clicked on the kick. Everything is at 100 velocity. I believe every single note would be if we open up the snare. Yeah. Okay, so two things you'd want to do to, when you have like your pattern, let's say you're sold on this pattern, then you'd want to go into the sampler, which happens to be the instrument the kick is, because it's actually a sample. And so inside this Logic sampler, we'd want to make sure that the kick and every other drum instrument was in the same key. Our song happens to be in C sharp, so I think I tuned these already. So this is in C sharp, and the snare, yeah, is in C sharp. The number next to that just means like the octave of this of the note. So the other live snare is C sharp. It's a higher octave. Yeah, you get the idea. The crash is C sharp. So you want to make sure all your instruments are in the same key. How do you determine the key of a song? Well, that's a good question, Ava. Okay, how do you determine the key of the song? You basically want, like, you need to find your what is the main instrument of the song. So, for example, like if I didn't know the key of the song and I had to start from scratch, so maybe we can do that as an example. Let's say, so my main instrument is this guitar progression. Okay, so how do we go and find the key, right? Well, how I find the key is I need to like listen to it like we just did right now, and then I pick up my guitar and then I find the key that way. So let's do that first, and then we can talk about another way. So, okay, so I'd actually just go and find the chord that fits with the progression. So that works. Like, and so by ear, I know that that's a C sharp minor. And Mike, I guess a good question for you is, can you find the key by ear? Because that's the easiest way to find the key, obviously, but it's not how everyone does it. And if you don't know music by ear or any music theory, you might find that quite difficult. So if you can't do it by ear, then I would just say maybe there's even a software or like a Logic plugin. I don't think there is, but I know you can find the BPM, but to find the key, you might be able to actually find it with a pitch correction. So if we open up like pitch correction, this is going to be a test, but let's just do this. Okay, this is going to be a pitch correction on the guitar. So let's just pick it's it's one of two things. It's either major or minor. So let's just start with major and let's see if this works. And let's put our response down to fast. So you see how it's wonky? That means it's not in C. So let's try C sharp. Okay, so it's not that. Okay, so it's not that. And then I guess you could go through it like this if you want. Let's just see if this works. Oh, that was close. Okay, so I believe it's not major. So let's go to minor. Start at C again. It's wonky. This should work. Oh, it's very wonky still. It could also be because my guitar is out of tune. Oh no. Yeah, it's a tough one. If you don't know how to find the key, that's a really good question. If you don't know how to find the key without knowing by ear, I've never actually had to do that. So how do you guys find the key if you don't know it by ear? That's a really good question. I play guitar, ukulele, usually do the key by ear, but not sure how accurate it was. Yeah, okay, so you can usually do it by ear too. Yeah, it's honestly the best way to do it. I think the best video for learning things are the short but well explained videos. Yes, definitely dreams. I keep it up with the recorded videos as well because they're more structured and I can make the proper edits, and that's why live I'd rather have it like conversation with you guys and questions while I'm maybe teaching something in the background so it can give you ideas for questions. But this is the way I'd like to do it. Okay, let's what's up Tyler? Awesome. I'm super happy to hear that. That's why I make these videos, to help you guys. And it's like I also am learning a ton doing it as well. It helps me learn more as well. Like I'm just having tons of fun. So I just tried to like find the key with this picture correction. I don't think I'll ever do that again because that just I don't know if that worked. Sorry if I took you guys for a crazy ride there. Let's get back to this beat making session, and anyone who's just joining, we're going through we recreated this beat here up here for this bedroom pop song, and we're now recreating it at the bottom here. So where are we? Let's just take a listen. Oh gosh, what's going on? There we go. Okay, right. So we got all these down to MIDI. Okay, they're all our elements here are in the right key. Now we should go in and change the velocities of the elements that are going to matter the most. So what I would start with are definitely the hi-hats because they stick out the most, like hi-hats, tambourines, and then you can go in, change the kick, snare velocities a little bit, but it's not that, maybe as a priority as it would be for like the hi-hats, because the hi-hats, like that just like sounds like I can imagine just like a little monkey, like with the two tambourines, like, like it's just, there's no energy, there's no nothing. So I could have done this in the step sequencer actually. So I'll show you. It's just because I'm used to doing it here. What I do is I make one pattern. So I'll delete these and I'll just change the velocity of these notes by doing right click and pulling up and down. And I can do this kind of right click pull because I have the third tool as a velocity tool. So if you want that, you just go to like preferences. Let's see if I can just find this really quickly. I think it's audio editing. Yes. No. I thought it was editing for sure. General editing. Yeah. Okay. General editing is assignable. Your right mouse button is assignable to a tool. So that's what I have my right click as. You can see here I have that in tool and that up there. Okay. How do you find the key of the song? Tyler, yeah, that's a good question. We were like, yeah, we just went on a journey trying to find the key. And how we came out of that was I find the key by ear because I play guitar and I play piano and I can find it by ear just through practice. And I think a lot of people find it a similar way, but if you can't find it that way, then we struggled with actually answering. So yeah, I honestly think there's probably like a free website you could upload like a little music sample and there would be an algorithm that would tell you. Yeah, or like if you don't know by ear, it's a super, super tough one. Should we just Google that right now for fun? Okay, let's just Google this. Okay, quickly, like 2-minute digression maybe. Should we? No, let's stay on track. I'm sure there's a way out. Okay, let's do these hi-hats. So right click, pull, and just make like some colors. You want colors for sure. And you want to know your pattern. So let's get a pattern here. Solo this. So it could be like right? Maybe like that. It can be anything. I mean, and then I'm just doing Command R, Command R, Command R to duplicate these patterns, this one pattern. So already a lot better than just 100, right? And then I would just like go like this, cut that off. So that's one way. The other way is to open up the step sequencer again, going over here and like making sure we're in 1/8 and then dragging them in or coloring them in, making sure it's lined up on the grid here. And we can go down to velocity. So down arrow to velocity. We can like do all the velocities pretty quickly like this. So click and drag. I can bring all the velocities down. Super quiet, super loud. So maybe I'll start like average 80 and then I'll go individually a bit and drop these down. And just do like something like that, like this. And maybe I'll do some note repeats. So note repeat would be like a little trill. Da 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 da. So da 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 da. So maybe something like this. Maybe it's maybe 2 is better. I'm just clicking and dragging up. If I go 16, it's going to play that 16 times. That's going to be crazy. See, that's way too much. That sounds broken almost. So you can maybe, is 5 too much? Is that too crazy? Yeah, that's way too crazy. Yeah, maybe 3 is better, and then like a 3 over here. Doesn't sound very good. I don't like that. So there's a pattern. That's another way to do it. And then we go right click, convert to Midi region. And then you can see this is what the colors actually look like from what we just programmed in the step sequencer. Okay, so you would do the same thing for the tambourine. Quick way to do that, you could do, because they're still also in 1/8, you can just delete this and drag the hats down and then edit the MIDI. Maybe you don't want these 3. So you just add a note in there, delete these 3, see what they sound like together. And maybe you want the full like average of the tambourine, so highlight them all. Maybe you want the full average, excuse me, to go up. So I'm gonna highlight those all and Command A, and then it can bring them up to 127 or like maybe, let's try 71. Finding a way for those 2 elements to work together. It's not always a great idea to do an exact twin of the MIDI notes because there's no real point in that, especially when it comes out to these elements where you can really hear them. So keep that in mind. And then you can go in and obviously like change the claps and stuff, but I'm not going to do that right now. Shake could be, I'm just going to rip off the hats shake. Oops. Oh boy. And just change the average. And actually might even do Might do a different pattern quickly. So click and dragging to change velocities. Okay, it's different. Command R. Let's see what they work together. Okay, what else could you add to make this sound a bit better? You can like double out this, like, man, you can add anything you want, but like I found this cool. In Alchemy, sometimes you can find like different drum synth stuffs. This is actually just like a mallet I thought was cool. So I'll just make a quick region here and I can show you what that sounds like. Where's the root key? Oh boy, I don't think I have a root key. Oh yeah, it's not. So this I can actually just play on my MIDI keyboard. I know I'm in C sharp, so I kind of liked how it was so like a drop of water almost. Like does that make sense? Like a bucket, a drop of water in a bucket. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? That one sounds weird. The first one sounds really weird. There, that sounds better now. The idea of something like that would just be to barely hear it, but also just kind of hear it in the background, to have that almost as like an adding, instead of adding reverb, you can also do something like this that adds a bit more texture too. Cool. How are you guys doing in the chat? Someone drop some knowledge in the chat. How is everyone doing with their like music production? Do you have questions about like making beats or making chord progressions, or would you prefer maybe we get onto this cool bass line here? I mean, it's not very cool. It's just pretty standard, but I think something like this is good to take note because it's so simple, but the sound is really nice, that when you have simple elements, then you don't really need a lot in your song. Like once these are properly mixed and have the right effects on it, like that will start it's already sounding like really good, you know? That's why when it comes to the mix, it won't be a problem. But it's really, we just have drums and bass here, and you can already like envision a top line over that. Let's actually just have some fun with this. I'm going way off topic, but you guys weren't asking any questions, so I'm like getting like distracted now. So I'm just gonna like keep going. If you want me to get back to the beat, I'm happy to get back to the beat. I'm a singer-songwriter trying to figure out how to produce on Logic. Any tips for a beginner? I'm trying to make kind of chill, simple songs, but having a little bit of trouble. Yes, totally. I would say if you're a beginner, I think a great way to get started as a beginner is just getting your feet wet with like the you're a singer-songwriter, so you probably want to write songs, right? So chill, simple songs. So get your feet wet with getting comfortable with recording audio, like your guitar and your voice, getting those two things solid, and then start singing over, like pop up a drummer track here, and you see this Bluebird Darcy, and then write a guitar part over this drum set here. Like we just made this, or we didn't make it, but like make something simple here. You know, and like record a guitar part over that so you can loop that, and maybe you have a guitar progression that you are writing. So add a audio, call it like your acoustic guitar, and like let's just pretend I'm you right now. So input 2, and okay, let's say let's turn up my guitar. Bear in mind it's not tuned and it's not that bad, so I'm just going to ignore that. So I would just like record something over this little drum part here. Okay, then you have guitar part. And then I wouldn't get too worried about like the flex time and all the difficult stuff that you can learn later on. Like this isn't super in time, but it's not that bad. And then you kind of got a song, you know? You have a guitar part and a drum part, and you just keep going in a way. I know that sounds weird, but like add a bass track. Let's add what's a good Logic synth? I mean, I'm using Trillion bass, which is super awesome, but it's just super heavy on my computer right now while I'm streaming. So let's just add what's a good sub bass? Yeah, does Sculpture have a sub bass? I believe they do. You can add a sub bass. Whoa. And just add like a little bass here. I actually was doing multi-track recording there by accident. Yeah, like I'm getting carried away, but you get the idea. I think it's like getting these, just like go for it. If you can do this stuff, what I just did, if you can do that, then keep doing that, and like now record your melody over and open up the notes in the right hand corner and start like your lyrics and getting a song ready. Like the biggest part to getting better at music producing music production is to actually write really good songs, and not so much about like awesome drums and like killer synths and all this stuff. It's like first get a really good song and then give the song what it needs. Sometimes it doesn't need a lot of stuff. Like look at all the really big songs. There's not a lot of things going on, but what's in there is like really, really good. Think of like that Louis Capaldi song that was enormous like 2 years ago. It had piano and bass, like a little bit of atmospheric stuff, but what was good was his voice and the songwriting, the structure. So I would say just like stick to writing really good songs and then giving the song what it needs. So here's your song right here. And you can make it sound much better by doing quick things. So you can do some quick things like you can add a compressor on here. You can add some reverb, so that would sound much better with a bit of reverb. Run it through like an amp designer. Just run it through like a clean. I don't know what these are. Wow, we have 2 songs going on. So that sounds like super cool, like dreamy. And then like get a different part here, go over the drums. Oh boy. And then click in the drums and just like, this is simple stuff to get ideas, like go down, just use this quadratic. Just make a different part. So maybe it actually starts super simple. And then, yeah, just like ideas. Cool. I was walking alone, without a name in the mouth. I didn't know the name that I didn't need but it been talking don't keep going. 2, 3, 4 chords, and then like something big here. So cut that, and super simple, make it just loud and complex now. Whoa, that sounds bad, but you kind of get what I'm going. Yeah, it would just be like, it's off time, but yeah. So we're getting ahead of ourselves, but this is how I make songs. And then I'm like, wow, I got a good song here. I think like I have the vibe, I have the energy. It sounds like what this song we're making here is, you know, just poppy, but what's a kind of like a James Bay style song. We're kind of making a James Bay style song. And you'd write some lyrics, and then you're like, okay, I got a song. Now let's start making a killer drum set. I would actually get the right kick and snare and pattern. Then I would re-record the guitar. I would find a much better bass and bass line and make a song, make a killer song. We're lucky to have you, Charles. Wow, that's super nice of you to say. Saroon, undercover, secret person. But thank you for coming out of your cover and saying that nice comment. Thanks, Ava. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Lots more to come. So let's keep going. Maybe I'll just call this group Ava, because that was for Ava. Ava, if you want these files, just let me know. I can send you these. I can export these and bounce these to you if you're into that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's your style. I'll just put you at the top there. Let's get back to what we're doing here. Wow, we have 2 drum sets going at the same time. So this was our first one. Let's just mute that. See, I don't like those twirls anymore that we did on the hi-hats. I'm listening to it on fresh ears and it just sounds weird. Just sounds like the wrong genre. So I'm gonna get into the hats and remove those. It just sounded like a trap artist was trying to like stick his way into the song. And I was like, get out of here. You're not in this bedroom pop song. You're a trap artist. Maybe a little bit of a jump is fine. But 3 is just, you're in the wrong zone, man. Yeah, of course. Honored to have you join the channel. Please come back for more. I would love to have thanks for like asking questions and being involved. Oh, much better. Oh, that double. See, sometimes it can just be one thing. It just took 2 notes out of the hi-hats. Some snaps could be nice in there. What's this fill thing again? Can't even remember what that was. Oh, that was a fill, right? Obviously, look at the name, and it will show you the way. There was like a fill I had, which was just a sample, which I'm not totally sold on yet, but I'll show you what I did. Oh, that's Ava. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's garbage. But this, I'll show you what I did because it's the right idea, but not the right sound. This is just a sample, like I think I got this off Splice. Maybe we can find a different one together. Let's open up Splice. This is like how I would do fills. How I would do fills are like, it's really easy to find like different samples, sample libraries that you've downloaded, or maybe like a Splice or arcade type of thing, or you could just put like a snare or any type of percussive element on your keyboard and actually just play the notes. Like if I just want to do like the snare, for example. Wait, can you guys see this? Yeah. So I have the snare on my keyboard now, and I can just do like a play a part. You know, you can do any type of fill to your fancy. But where was I here? Oh yeah. Okay, here's Splice. Hello, Splice. Oh boy. I think it's time to end the live stream. When I start saying R's in place of L's, it's time to leave. But let's just see if we can get something quickly. The thing is with Splice is like, if you're not making EDM music, it's super hard to find non-EDM stuff, which is why I dislike Splice. I think it's awesome, but I just don't make a lot of EDM music. So you're going to get a lot of stuff like this. This is definitely an EDM stuff. Yeah. Oh God, this is going to take forever, so I'm just going to not do that right now. The words first or the lyrics. I'm so grateful for this. Oh, thanks, Ben. Yeah, thanks for joining in. Do you usually come up with the music first or the lyrics? I like to do both actually, and I switch back and forth because I find you make a different song each time you start with the music versus starting with the lyrics. So I usually gravitate though towards starting with the music. Not producing like a whole song, but I'll start like I did up here with just something you're in the mood with, like this guitar part. That's all you really need to start a song. You know, that's with that reverb. It sounds cool. And then I would go and write the lyrics over that. But I find starting with a blank paper, just for me and how my brain works, I'm often wanting to write to music. And the songs that I've written without music first, they end up not being like super great all the time, because I usually scrap a lot of the words anyways, because once you find the melody, you're like, oh, I don't need 4 syllables. I need 2 syllables here, you know? So that's my problem. I like your cut, G. If you're referring to my haircut, thank you. Definitely got a huge haircut recently. Huge meaning I cut a lot of hair off because my hair was getting pretty long. And in Berlin right now, where I'm based, it's pretty strict lockdown. I'm not sure like how you guys are doing with the pandemic right now. Hope everyone's safe, but I'm pretty much in lockdown right now in Berlin, and it's quite strict here. So all the barbers are closed. So I was like, gotta shave my head because I'm not going to see a barber for a few months. Thanks, Milan. Yeah, please have a rewatch. Reach out if you have any questions or comment on any video. That I do actually try to comment on reply to every single comment. So I really like this kind of video, what we did here, making a song. And I almost think that I would like to do the next live stream just like maybe not this actual song, but like starting from scratch, because I think a lot of questions can come up that way and we can go through them. And also I think it would be super challenging for me to try to write a song on live stream and with you guys. So how do I know what lyrics to choose? Do I have any tricks about writing lyrics? Tricks, I would say the best thing that helped me was to actually like try to write about one thing. My problem is when I write a song and I don't like, if I haven't decided what this song is about, then I end up writing like a verse that is something and then a chorus which is like totally different, and they don't make sense at all. And I'm sure you guys have like been in that kind of arena before where you're like, my song doesn't make sense. And that happens to me a lot if I don't decide what I want to write about. And so that is just like, maybe you get some ideas out and you said something and you're like, oh, that's like a love song, or that's about a guy who wants to get a girl but can't, or that's about this girl dumping this guy, or that's about a bad, a scary thing that happened last week, or this is like about a song driving on the highway with my hair in the breeze. And then if it's that song, like driving on the highway with your hair in the breeze, then just like focus in on that and like think about words that like have to do with driving and have to do with like cool summer feelings, and like maybe write a list of adjectives and verbs and adverbs and have that as like your bank of things. And then you can like have that as your focus and North Star. So you're not just like, oh, like what am I writing about? And you need a map. Like songwriting, as much as it is a creative thing, it's still very scientific, and you can really make it scientific because you don't necessarily, I know a lot of people might even disagree with this, but you don't need to be inspired to write a song. A lot of it is work, and you just have to work. And if you waited to be inspired to write a song, I would probably not write like a lot of songs because I'm not like always inspired. There's sometimes where I'm like, I want to write a song right now, but that probably only happens like 2 or 3 times a month, you know? And the rest of the time I'm still like enjoying making songs, and I'm like, okay, like I got to make a song today. Like, and then you get into it, and then like there's rushes of excitement, and then like there's like the you're in like a deep pit, and you're like, I suck, and my song sucks. And then you get out of it and you're like, I'm awesome. And then you're like, oh, I suck again. But that's just life, I guess. Cool. Yeah. Then I just read your comment, Ava. Yeah, I'm super down to do that and would like to do that. So yeah, I think if there's nothing else to choose in this little song, hmm. Yeah. Cool. Well, if I think I'll probably leave it there, guys, and we'll see you in the next stream. Feel free to subscribe and watch my recorded videos where they're based around music, either music production or music marketing. Those are the two things that I do every day, and I do a lot of. And because I release my own music, I'm a singer-songwriter myself, so you can check up some of my own music on Spotify if you're curious. So I'll get to one more question. How do you know what to sing over your instrumentals? Just sing gibberish. If you're uncomfortable doing it, do it alone in a room that's soundproof and make sure no one's listening, and just kind of like sing gibberish, and that's your melody. And if you write more gibberish melodies over 100 songs, I guarantee your gibberish melodies will get better, because you'll start to find better melodies, and that's how to get better. Hey Corey, no worries. Hey Brad. Yeah, sorry guys, we're just finishing the live stream. Today we kind of just went over how to recreate this beat with the step sequencer in Logic. So we just recreated that beat with the step sequencer. So if you're interested or want to learn how to do that, you can kind of rewatch this. And then we kind of went off topic and started just like talking about how writing songs from scratch and how you can get started really quickly in Logic with just like opening up a drummer track and like just getting a super easy guitar part and bass part up, and you can kind of have something like this within 5 minutes. And then using that as like your foundation to write a song, and which kind of led us to the next thing, which is like, I think the next live stream we'll try to write a song from scratch, starting with something like this, and then we can write some lyrics together, and I'll show you how I come up with melodies, and we can just write some lyrics, not overcomplicate it, and then if there's time, we could also produce the song, at least start producing it too. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, ring that bell. Sounds good. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night, guys. Bye.